Please subscribe to the channel and stay with me. This story only reveals its truth if you listen until the end. The email arrived at 6:47 a.m., just as the gray Berlin winter began to press against the windows. I was already awake, staring at the ceiling, counting the small cracks that had appeared over the years. 13 years at the company had taught me to wake early, to be prepared before others decided my fate for me. The subject line was short. Meeting, urgent. By 9 o'clock, I was sitting across a polished oak table from my wife's sister, Helena Kruger, CEO, majority shareholder, and the unchallenged authority of Kruger Systems. The walls behind her were glass, overlooking a city that moved efficiently, mercilessly, without noticing who fell behind. She didn't invite me to sit. I did anyway. "Hand in your resignation," Helena said calmly, folding her hands, "or we'll fire you." No preamble, no gratitude, no acknowledgement of the 13 years I had given to her company. Years of weekends lost, nights slept under my desk, crises solved quietly, so her name never appeared next to failure. "I haven't done anything wrong," I said. She smiled thinly. "That's not the point." My wife, Anna, sat beside her, eyes fixed on the table. That hurt more than the threat. Helena leaned back. "This is about alignment, loyalty, and perception. You no longer fit the image we need." The words were clean, corporate, bloodless, but beneath them was something older and uglier. Family power, inherited entitlement, and the unspoken rule that I had always been temporary. I nodded slowly. "If I resign, what happens to my team?" Helena shrugged. "They'll adapt. Everyone does." That was when I understood. This wasn't about performance. It never had been. My name is Lucas Brandt. I grew up in Magdeburg in an apartment that smelled of boiled potatoes and machine oil. My father was a machinist who believed loyalty to employers was a virtue. When the factory closed, loyalty didn't save him. Silence didn't either. He drank himself into an early grave, convinced he had failed simply by not being useful enough. I learned a different lesson. Never confuse usefulness with belonging. When I married Anna, Helena made a toast about welcoming me into the family. What she meant was, "You may stand near the table, but you will never own a chair." I didn't resign. I asked for time to consider my options. Helena allowed it with the confidence of someone who believed time always worked in her favor. That night, snow fell softly over Berlin, muting the city. Anna followed me through the apartment, nervous. "She didn't mean it personally," she said. "It's business." "That's what makes it personal," I replied. She didn't answer. I slept poorly, haunted by memories of my father sitting at the kitchen table, letters spread out like accusations. I promised myself long ago that no one would ever corner me like that. So I opened my laptop. Kruger Systems specialized in infrastructure software. Boring, invisible, indispensable. And for 13 years, I had been the man who understood how it all fit together. I didn't just manage systems. I built redundancies, emergency protocols, fail-safes no one else fully understood because no one else had needed to. Helena trusted systems. She never trusted people. That was her mistake. Over the next weeks, I became quieter, more agreeable. I documented everything meticulously, just as I always had. No one noticed that I stopped solving problems before they became visible. I let processes follow their natural, fragile path. Small delays appeared, nothing alarming, just enough to trigger questions. Helena called me into her office again. "Is something wrong?" she asked. "No," I said honestly. "I'm following protocol." Protocol, stripped of human intervention, is a slow poison. Anna began to sense the tension. She accused me of being passive-aggressive. I accused her of being absent. The truth sat between us like an uninvited guest. She had always chosen her sister when forced to choose at all. The moral dilemma pressed harder each day. If I continued, I would hurt more than Helena. I would destabilize teams who trusted me, people with mortgages, children, lives. So I adjusted. I protected them. I guided key engineers quietly toward other opportunities, recommending them personally to competitors, partners, startups. Talent drained away like groundwater, unseen until the ground collapsed. By the time Helena realized what was happening, it was too late. A major client demanded explanations for repeated, unexpected inefficiencies. Auditors arrived. Investors asked why institutional knowledge seemed to vanish overnight. Helena summoned me, furious now. "You did this," she said. "No," I replied. "You told me to leave. I'm just making sure the company learns what that means." She threatened legal action. I handed her my documentation, years of emails, warnings, suggestions she had dismissed because they came from me. The board stepped in. Helena was removed temporarily. The word echoed with irony. Anna didn't come home that night. She stayed with her sister. The final meeting took place in early spring. Berlin thawed reluctantly. Dirty snow piled along sidewalks, revealing what winter had hidden. The board offered me a severance package, generous and quiet. They asked me to stay on as a consultant. I declined. "I gave 13 years, I said. "I won't give you my silence." I left the building carrying a single box. The air outside smelled like wet concrete and possibility. Anna called weeks later. Her voice was tired, stripped of certainty. "Helena says you destroyed her." "I didn't destroy her," I replied. I stopped holding her up. She asked if we could fix things. I thought of my father, of loyalty mistaken for submission, of 13 years spent earning a place that never existed. "No," I said gently. I finally chose myself. By summer, I was working with a cooperative in Hamburg. Smaller, slower, human. No glass towers, no thrones. Sometimes revenge is loud. Sometimes it's just refusing to disappear quietly. And that is the kind that lasts.